Hey there, and welcome to my laser review of the newest film, Creed 3, and it's starring Michael B. Jordan, also produced by Michael B. Jordan, also directed by Michael B. Jordan, and it's like, goddamn, dude, slow down.
You're doing too much.
Okay, before I get into this, let's see, I have some Diet Cranberry juice and something different I got at the liquor store, and I'm trying this out, but okay, this says Long Island iced tea. The ingredients say 65 proof, and it's a mixture of rum, vodka, gin, tequila, and triple sec. Like, damn.
So, what are you hauling? Rocket fuel!
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I went into this film, I wouldn't call this a bias, but more of a concern, because this is the first film in the, I guess we're gonna call it the Rockyverse franchise, that doesn't have the character of Rocky and the actor of Sylvester Stallone in this film. And let's be honest, guys, no matter how you feel about Creed 1 and Creed 2 and the entire Rocky saga, many people, myself included, wanted to go see the first Creed film because Stallone was in it, and to some lesser extent, Creed 2. So I'm just curious, going into this, how does Creed stand on his own without the character of Rocky being in it, alright? But before we get into this, yeah, let's try this shit and see how powerful it is, and hopefully I don't friggin' die, alright? So, let's go. Damn. Poison! I can feel my lifespan getting shorter. Okay. Now, before I do the intro, not gonna lie, I had to watch Rocky 3 before watching Creed 3. Some people would say that's unfair to compare the two franchises because Creed is its own separate entity. However, it's also the third film in the Creed franchise, so why not compare it to Rocky 3? That's both a good thing and possibly a bad thing, alright? So, let me drink some more of this shit and kill myself, and as I always say to everybody watching, enjoy my intro. Okay, so the film starts off with a flashback of a young Adonis and a character called Damien. Later on, this will play an important part to the film, but then what happens is we fast forward to an older Adonis, and obviously some time has passed since the events of Creed 2. Adonis is doing what a lot of boxers don't get to do, and therefore a lot of athletes don't get to do. He gets to win his final match, he gets to defend his title, and he gets to retire on his own accord and basically get a happy ending. So hey, kudos to him.
7 years of my life, living out my wildest dreams.
Now that he's retired, Adonis is spending time with his wife and his daughter, but that's not all he's doing. He wants to still be active in the sport, and like many older athletes, he wants to train and coach and just make different proteges with a new generation of fighters. However, what happens is his old friend Damien, that was in a flashback in the beginning of the film, comes back after 18 years, but we'll just say 20 years for the review. 20 years ago, he was sent to prison, and he's been there the entire time. Now, off the bat, let's just say this. It's always said that any actor is oftentimes good or as bad as the material that they're given. Jonathan Majors, besides being a physical fucking tank, is awesome as Damien. He plays him so much differently than, say, a shit character like Kang in the MCU. And because he's like gruff, he talks a different way, he looks down a lot, he plays him so much more menacingly and differently than Kang, and I'm telling myself that, Jesus Christ, I wish Marvel would look at this performance right here and see the potential of Jonathan Majors and like, goddamn guys, make Kang actually a villain that I want to see.
I'm just getting started, little brother.
Because it's been 20 years, Damien obviously knows about Adonis and his career and the fact that he's retired. Now, at one aspect, I understand the fact that it's kind of annoying where Damien feels like he's owed something, he's entitled something. However, I also understand the fact that he feels this way because in some ways, by him protecting Adonis when they were younger, he lost out on life, and Adonis got to go be the world champion and have a great life, but Damien was stuck in prison by basically helping Adonis out. So I see it both ways, but it ultimately comes down to Damien's like, listen, I'm out of jail, I'm number one, I want a title shot. And Adonis is like, are you serious?
You are stupid.
And yes, I'm going to compare this to Rocky 3. I can't help myself because, I'm sorry, 3 minutes into Rocky 3, we meet Clubber Lang, and while Rocky is defending his title time and time again, Clubber Lang is winning matches, and then he's rising himself through the ranks, up the ladder, and getting to that number one spot, and it feels more earned. And I understand the fact that this is a different generation, and Damien's like, I'm too old for this stuff. I don't have time to rise through the ranks. And, when it comes to the world of boxing and sports in general, perhaps maybe Damien is too older for this stuff. Maybe he's past his prime, so he doesn't feel like he has the time to go up through the ranks. But I don't know. Part of me likes it better in Rocky 3.
He's next. I'm gonna get him. Nobody can stop me. You tell that boy that I'm coming after him.
However, I will give them credit and good callbacks to the first Rocky film because Damien really wants Adonis to do this for him, and he's like, listen, a long time ago, your father, Apollo Creed, he gave a guy a shot, Rocky. He gave an underdog a shot, and we've seen what happened. The rest is history. How did things turn out? But Adonis is like, I can't help you, man. This is impossible. This match is already set up. It can't be done. And now Damien does something, and he just basically cheats his way into getting the #1 contender spot. It's kind of messed up. He's kind of desperate. But like the late Eddie Guerrero said, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough.
It's not cheating if you win. It's only cheating if you get caught.
And again, credit where credit is due. Perhaps to Michael B. Jordan as a director or somebody in charge of choreography, but the first time Damien has a match, it's fucking brutal. It's not even a boxing match, it's a fucking massacre. It's extremely one-sided, and it's like Damien is not there to box, he's there to bruise. He's not there to have a good fight, he's there to injure. When he fights Adonis' protege, it's very one-sided, and I started feeling sorry for the guy, and every single fucking hit, you feel it. You can just hear it and just see it happening. I'm watching it, and I keep thinking about that one Simpsons thing where it's like, dear God, stop, he's already dead.
Stop! He's already dead!
Well, Damien wins, as you can imagine. Now he's heavyweight champion of the world. Adonis is pissed off, however, because he's like, dude, I know you cheated and you lied to me, and by all accounts, you did use me. They have some words, a punch gets thrown, and now Adonis wants to come out of retirement and fight Damien just to settle the score. And as what happens with every single Rocky film, and now Creed film, there's the infamous training montage. I'll get into this in a second with Rocky 3, but they have the training montage. And again, kudos to Michael B. Jordan and also Jonathan Majors. They both look fantastic. The guys are in fucking great shape. So now we settle up to the very final match of the movie, the final showdown between Adonis and Damien. And I can't help but say this and just be critical about this, that out of every single Rocky film and now Creed film, I'm watching it and there is some good choreography there. There's one sequence where it's just Damien and Adonis. Everything's drowned out. It's just the two of them. They're focused, they're grunting, and all you see is the two of them in the ring and everything's gone. All the sound, all the people, and just one-on-one. That part's awesome. However, part of the Rocky franchise, and now even the Creed franchise, was Rocky and also Adonis struggling. I didn't feel at all watching the final boxing match that Adonis was ever going to lose. And it didn't feel like at one point Adonis had the upper hand or Damien had the upper hand. It seemed like they were just exchanging blows the entire time. It's like you can see when Clubber Lang's beating Rocky or Drago has the upper hand or Apollo's beating Rocky and they're going back and forth. I never felt that at all during this fight. And I'm just going to say this, spoilers, and not shocking to anybody, Adonis wins.
No real surprise there.
After the match, they're both in the locker room. Damien and Adonis have a pretty good exchange of words and just, hey, I'm not mad at you no more. I'm not mad at you. Let's just kiss and make up. We're basically brothers and all is forgiven. So that's pretty much it and the end of Creed 3. So did I like it? Should you go see it? Honestly, I'm going to say this and just being fair and critical. Out of all three of the Creed films, I damn sure feel storyline-wise, this was the weakest. And yes, I did miss Stallone being there. I did miss Rocky being there. I couldn't help but think as I'm watching this, what advice would he give to Adonis? And now, okay, let me put this down. I'm going to give the comparisons. When you're watching Rocky 3, I mean, obviously the big loss in the film is Mickey dying. Adonis has a loss as well of his mother, and perhaps it's just the acting of Stallone and Burgess Meredith, but when Mickey dies, you feel it, and it even fucked up Rocky's head to the point where Clubber Lang kicks the shit out of him. Adonis loses his mother, and it just, you don't feel the weight, the emotion, and the impact of losing his mother because he still goes to win the fight. Also, you have the side story of Apollo. Apollo is still trying to stay relevant. He's still trying to stay in the boxing world, and he's building up his friendship with Rocky. But also, Rocky is self-doubting himself because of everything that happened with Mickey. Besides Mickey dying, he's questioning himself as a boxer, as a man, hell, even as a husband. And he has this great exchange with Adrian on the beach where he's like, for the first time in my life, I'm afraid. Adonis has none of that. Adonis doesn't have his self-doubt. He doesn't have the drama that Rocky's going through. You don't see him struggling during his training. He just trains and that's it. I'm sorry, it could be Eye of the Tiger, it could be the way Stallone directs training montages, but the training montage in Rocky 3 is just so much more memorable and better than a training montage in Creed 3. And even, I'm sorry, but okay, there's some history between Damien and Adonis that there isn't there with Clubber Lang and Rocky, but maybe it's Mr. T's performance, but I felt like in some ways, yes, Jonathan Majors is more physically dominant. He's bigger than Mr. T, but Mr. T, the way he talks, the way he insults Adrian, the way he beats the shit out of Rocky, he feels like a more memorable villain than Damien ever did. To the point that Rocky does lose to him. In fact, he loses to him in the second round, and Rocky has to make the comeback that eventually we see. Damien and Adonis have none of that, so I can't help but feel like it's just a lesser film of Rocky 3 and a lesser out of the three Creed films. It doesn't have the drama, the tension, and just the friendships, the bonds that the previous Rocky films have. So it's not that I hated this film by any means, but I would tell anybody that, I mean, I can even go back and watch Creed 1 and Creed 2 and get something out of this. This just felt like they were trying to build up an older kind of brother rivalry and just a brother that kind of wants revenge. And it just, for me, didn't pay off the same way as, say, Rocky 3 would.
It wasn't great.
Do I think it's bad? Not by any means, but being blue collar, I'll tell anybody, guys, overall, Creed 3, I just feel like if you skip it, you're not missing out on a lot. And if you do want to check it out, there is some very good fight choreography in this film. But honestly, I would just wait for rental.
Gonna rent it?
I do think Michael B. Jordan did a good job directing. He obviously does a good job acting. He knows Adonis, and I just can't help but feel like the storyline out of the three is the weakest overall. And truth be told, going forward, they have to just add something different than just rehashing old Rocky, themes and stuff and storylines.
We need to try something new.
Yeah, not a bad film, but something that I'm just not gonna watch again anytime soon, guys. So hope you liked my review, and yes, I'm sorry, there is some bias there in comparing this to Rocky 3, but I can't help it. So that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. I'm going to, as always, check my time, get to editing, drink this, and then get ready for my job.
I hate my job.
Hope you guys like my review. Let's get Bender, okay?
This calls for a drink.
This shit is powerful. Okay, let me start editing and then head back to work.